Clearly I need to punch it. This is Shadowgate, a game originally developed by ICOM Simulations for the Apple Macintosh, but later ported to the NES by Kemco.
Kemco has a rather interesting track record. I only have 2 other games by them, including Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, which drives me absolutely bonkers, and Lagoon, in which you're essentially challenged to save the world with a toothpick. Shadowgate, however, is not like either of those games.
If I were to describe Shadowgate, I'd liken it to wandering around a dark room with a vague idea of where a flashlight might be, but every other tile in that room is a button that, when pressed, will summon a giant fist to punch you in the face, while simultaneously having a snide narrator make intricate observations as to how the fist collides with your teeth.
In short, Shadowgate is a puzzle game in which you are going to die, and die. But that's okay, because you can just respawn and try something else. And probably just die again, but that's not the point. Basically, you're some poor sap who is supposedly prophesized to save everyone by putting together the legendary Staff of Ages and defeating the Warlock Lord before he manages to summon the Behemoth. To do so, you must work your way through the aptly named castle Shadowgate, in which everything wants you dead. Seems a little unfair. I mean, how do they know I'm not just the pizza guy? Either way, it's up to you to work your way into the castle and find all the pieces to the Staff of Ages by solving all sorts of puzzles, from finding a cave behind a waterfall and punching a rock within it to find some gemstones, to grabbing a fake shooting star on a map on the wall that you'll need to throw at a wyvern later? What? Basically, you've got a window of your environment and a whole lot of actions you can take. You pick an option and then point and click on something to interact with it. So what should you do to what? You don't know, so you gotta figure it out. However, do the wrong thing to something that seems dangerous, or sometimes something that doesn't seem dangerous, and the game will hand you a heaping helping of dead. I'm gonna tell you right now that the best thing to do first is look at everything, which will quickly tip you off to the fact that your narrator is a judgmental prick. Part of the amusement of this game, aside from reading the descriptions of how you die, comes from making a far-out guess as to what you're supposed to do and finding out that it's actually the right solution. And trust me, there's a lot of that in this game. However, some of the solutions are so vague that they make you think, how was I ever supposed to figure that out? Lucky for me though, I've got the patience of a saint, so let's go! The game drops me off outside of the castle with a little explanation about what's going on and leaves me to open up the door and enter Shadowgate. And then I'm stuck. I've got 2 locked doors and no keys to open them with. Well, shoot, looks like we're done. The Warlock Lord wins. Basically, this is the game's way of teaching you that you're gonna have to look beyond the obvious to get anywhere, because you actually have to go outside and open the skull above the door to find the key. Anyway, in the room past that, there's a book on a pedestal. Cool, let's take it. Oh. When you remove the book from its pedestal, the floor collapses and you fall to your death. It's a sad thing that your adventures have ended here. That's subjective. Also, don't make fun of me. This here's the death screen. You see it every single time you die, so you might as well get used to it. Anyway, the book kills me, so forget about it for now. We've got random holes in the wall to explore. I grab a silver arrow, fall on my butt after failing to climb a ledge, and then find myself in a hallway with 3 doors. And of course, the first room I enter smells like rotting flesh. Oh, good. Say, there's a ladder underneath this trapdoor. It must be safe to go down, right? Wrong, it's actually broken and it kills you. You might be thinking, well, why didn't you look at it first? I did, it just told me it was open. Fine, I'll suck it up and go in here instead. Oh, well, that looks friendly. Judging from this pile of gold, I'm going to take a guess and say this is a dragon. I'm not here for your gold, Mr. Dragon. I just want this torch on the wall. I didn't say I wanted it lit. Guess I'll just explore somewhere else. Ugh, what is this irritating music? Well, nothing seems to be happening, so I suppose I'll just go about my business. Your torch goes out with a fizzle. With outstretched arms, you move slowly, looking for a light. Suddenly, you trip over something. Smash! You fall face first to the floor. What, I'm dead? How much of a klutz is this guy? As it turns out, that torch at the top right corner of the screen isn't just for show. It's got a counter on it that decreases every time you take an action. You can literally sit in a room and do nothing for 3 hours and your torch won't go up, but if you so much as look at something, bing! When the counter gets low, the music changes to warn you, so you better be picking up every torch you see along the way and lighting them before they go out. So I grab a stone by a waterfall, nab a few gemstones, burn a mummy to find a scepter, and wind up in a room full of mirrors. And yes, that hole in the floor kills you. I don't think I even need to tell you that. I try punching the mirrors because why not, but nothing happens, and this is the last room I can find, so there must be something else I gotta do. And there is! Turns out that in the dragon room, you're actually supposed to grab the shield first so you don't get roasted. And then you can start looting stuff. Just don't push your luck with it though. Afterward, I use a gemstone to make some magic orb appear, which I use to freeze a lake so I can get a key from a skeleton, burn the ice with a torch so I can get the orb back, smash the middle mirror with a hammer, revealing a door, smash the right one just for fun and get sucked into space because good, respawn, go through the door, and okay! This room is on fire, forcing me to leave. Well, now what do I do? You remember that book that killed me? Turns out that if you just open it, instead of taking it like a goon, you can find a key inside, which opens up the other door in the first hall. Though you do get a sword and sling out of it, it is unfortunately a dead end. Not to worry though, as there's a secret passageway in one of the rooms. 2 bridges, huh? Gee, I wonder which one's safe. I enter the next room and oh, what's that? There's a wraith blocking the way. Is he friendly? Could be, but it looks like there's a language barrier here. Alright, Buster Brown, you better get out of the way or I'll beat you to a pulp. Actually, never mind, I'm a pussy. The Wraith can't actually harm you. His job in this situation is to teach you that there are going to be monsters in the way that you'll have to use certain inventory items to kill. In the Wraith's case, you have to use a weird torch that you find on the wall that the game won't let you light until this very moment. Try anything else and your guy will just be too scared to move. Regardless, I burn up the Wraith, not that he ever did anything to me, grab the cloak and move on. Now is the time in which I'd like to mention that you can use items on yourself. And not just the obvious ones like the cloak or bottles of suspicious unknown liquids, no! Anything you can pick up you can attempt to use on yourself, even if most of them do nothing. I just stabbed myself with a hammer. I honestly don't know if this gets me a net gain of hero points since I've got the skill to pull off something like that, or a net loss of hero points because I'm stupid enough to do it in the first place. These prophets sure know how to pick 'em. For better or for worse. Enough goofing off though, we've got a fire room to cross, cause the cloak somehow lets us do that. Don't ask. Oh geez, hello, a fire drake, what should I do? So, nice weather we're having. Damn it! To get rid of this guy, you have to chuck the sphere into the fire and then he leaves. Cool, next room. Finally, a nice straightforward room and a simple safe bridge without any what? A troll. Shoulda known. Would you look at that, he's demanding money. Boo, get off the stage. I'm fresh out of tomatoes to throw, so let's try a substitute. See ya! Oh, the Cyclops stands before you, ready for battle. Finally, a chance to prove my might as a warrior. It shall be a grueling clash, but my opponent has overlooked one thing. Swords beat axes and clubs, eat weapon triangle, bitch! Why do I even try? So I was kinda on the right track, but my guy's such a wuss that I had to knock the Cyclops out with a slingshot before stabbing him. Moving on. Here we are in the library. There are plenty of books to read, but are any of them useful? You can actually learn like 3 different magic spells in here, which come in handy later. Otherwise, what about this book? The Circle of 12 was formed before most things began to be. Their names are Fromus, Gaurlin, Talutin, Ronlin, Talimar, Magnus, Wontave. Buttwick? Buttwick? Who names their kid Buttwick? It's probably Butwick or something, but no, it's Buttwick. Sir Buttwick the Great. Otherwise known as Sir Candleass, the hopefully non-scented. Whatever, I'm done with this, let's just get out of here. So I put on some gauntlets to grab a flute and an acid fountain, play the flute which lets me find a ring in a tree, burn the Warlock Lord's rug because I'm a pyro, and what do you know, there's a key under there. Burn his tapestry while I'm at it for no good reason, solve a Sphinx's riddle by giving him an item, grab some more random stuff, and then stab a lady with that arrow I found a century ago. Sounds rude, I know, but she was actually a werewolf and would have ripped my face off. Turns out the spiky thing she was guarding is actually a piece of the Staff of Ages, so yay, progress! Some other stuff happened, like dealing with the Hellhound and Wyvern, but if I talk about everything I do in this game, we're gonna be here forever. Anyway, I got this wand from a skeleton hand that rose out of the ground. Don't ask me what that's about. And here's the kicker with the wand. You remember that shabby bridge we didn't cross that's like way on the other side of the castle? Well, this game has faith that you didn't just dismiss this bridge as nothing more than a death trap or just plain forget about it because you're supposed to backtrack all the way to it and drink bottle 2, not bottle 1 because that kills you, and then you'll start floating and can cross the bridge so you can use the wand on a snake statue to turn it into the staff portion of the Staff of Ages. Am I the only one who feels that figuring this out is kind of ridiculous? I mean, you find bottle 2 pretty quickly after you come across the bridges, but the only hint you get about what it might do is that the game tells you it's impossibly light if you look at it. However, the game won't let you use it on yourself in any room but the one with the bridges, though of course it doesn't tell you that, so it barely seems like it's meant for you to use on yourself at all. Maybe I'm just a big dummy, I don't know. Regardless, this whole thing is a trap because when you try to return to where you were when you got the wand, the troll comes back and he's got the tomatoes and he's mad. But it was time for this guy. I'm gonna speak some random spell that turns me invisible and sneak past him. Eventually, I get to this room with a bunch of lava. Hey, there seems to be a staircase over there. Let's see if it's reachable. Shouting a battle cry, you catapult yourself off the platform! You're a brave warrior, but stupid. Your body explodes as you plunge into the lava. Wait. You're telling me that I'm too scared to challenge a wraith with a sword, but I'll dive nose first into a pool of friggin' lava? It's fine, though. All we have to do is chant a magic word and a bridge shows up, leading to this room. Oh, come on, designers. Really now? This far into the game and you give me a pit? I think I've been around the block long enough to know it'll kill me, so obviously, I must go down it. Whoa, that guy's fluffy. I gotta hand it to them. I was kinda just expecting to fall and die. Respawn! Let's fuss with the switches and get the orb, the final piece of the Staff of Ages. Now all we gotta do is find the Warlock Lord. After falling down a well, I found myself at a river where our good buddy Death is at his part-time job as a ferryman. He's probably on call for his other job and is mad that I've been bugging him so much. Looks like he wants money. Do you take pocket change? No! Great, he ditched me. Come on, man, you know as well as I do that all I have to do is jump in the river and drown and you'll have to come and get me anyway. So I give him a gold coin this time and he takes me across the river. Finally, the last puzzle I gotta solve. I place the talisman underneath the sword, use the horn, and the door opens. Wait, I thought I was supposed to stop him from summoning the behemoth. Too late for that, I guess, but I can still blast him into next week. So, by taking the staff, the blade, and the orb, and attaching them all together, I have created the Staff of Ages. Gallantly, I raise the staff, aiming it at the Warlock Lord, and... let's try that again. I raise the staff, aiming it at the behemoth, and... The behemoth starts freaking out, grabs the Warlock Lord, and slinks into the depths. See? Look what you've done, Warlock Lord. Now you're dead and you're gonna have to live with it. And to think this all could have been avoided had you just removed the spare keys laying around your house, I would have never even gotten past the second door. What does a Warlock Lord need spare keys for anyway? Unless his name actually means that he's the lord of constantly being at war with locks. Okay, everything makes more sense now. After that, the game is over. You are bestowed a kingdom to rule in the king's fair daughter's hand? What? A kingdom to rule? This guy can't even walk around in the dark without killing himself! Anyway, the land was saved, a kingdom was doomed to collapse, a divorce was filed for shortly after, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was Shadowgate. Everywhere I go, something kills me in a flash. I could stub my toe, trip and turn my face to mash. I'm this random guy, and he sucks at everything. He sure knows how to die, I guess that counts for something. And that's all I got. The music in this game is catchy, but it's not easy to make lyrics to. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching and stick around for more.